Although piracy have decreased in Somalia waters, other areas such as Singapore Straits, Malacca Straits, as well as South America and Caribbean waters are on the rise. And here are 10 ways how sailors are combating piracy as well as armed robbery in order from most common to least common. Number 1 is speed. There is no recorded hijacking of ships above 18 knots. Never. Fast speed makes you an unattractive target because of the large and dangerous wakes by the ship. It's very easy for small boats to capsize approaching at such high speeds. But that's not because it's impossible. It's just that if you were a pirate, and if you have the choice between choosing a ship going at 15 knots versus 18 knots, you'd pick the slower one. It becomes increasingly hard for small boats to approach a large ship the faster they go. A pirate would think, should I spend my energy and my effort and my resources into chasing a fast ship and risk my life, or should I just wait and pick a slower one? It's the exact reason why fast ship types like container ships, ro-ro, and cruise ships are less targeted, and slower type ships like tankers, bulk carriers are the majority in falling victim to hijacking. Just to put into perspective, Captain Phillips' ship, the Maersk Alabama that got hijacked, was doing 9 knots only due to excessive maneuvering.
14 degrees.
In hindsight, its incident reports suggest that they would have a better chance if they maintain a straight line and try to achieve max speed first, so that their wakes become a natural deterrent. Number 2, safe room. Safe rooms are sometimes called citadels. When attacked, the crew can retreat into the safe room, and in these safe rooms, sailors will store food ration and water that can last a few days up to a week. The safe room is typically a concealed location within a void within the ship, making it very hard to find for pirates who are not familiar with the ship. All ships are made of thick steel plates, and these steel plating, the walls, make it impossible to penetrate even with bullets. You need an explosive charge or RPG in order to have a chance to get in. Even if located by the pirates, we have the option to retreat into another layer because of the watertight compartment arrangements, the way the ships are built. In my last ship, there's about 4 to 5 more watertight layers to go in. Most safe rooms allow the crew to remotely disable the ship's engine and electronic system so that it's impossible for pirates to sail the ship to a location they want. Upon hearing the security signal, the crew will gather there, and the engineers, while on the way to safe room, will disable all ship system so that the ship is dead in the water. And similarly, navigation officers will send out a security distress signal so that nearby Navy warships will be on their way within hours. By doing this, number 1, you effectively deny the pirates access to a crew for hostage taking, and number 2, you remove the capability to move the ship to a location that is favorable for the pirates. And number 3, you facilitate the retaking of the ship by armed rescue forces without the risk to the crew, because if there's a gunfire exchange, the crew is locked up in a citadel, the safe room. So the retreat and hiding of the crew to a safe room would encourage the pirates to leave the ship on their own. But it is vital that all crew go together and that no one misses out or no one plays the hero and get taken hostage. Number 3 is fire hose, fire lines, water cannons. Powerful water streams from the water hose make it difficult for an unauthorized boat to remain alongside, and makes it significantly more difficult to climb aboard. These are set up prior to entering the high-risk area. Valves are open so that with a push of the button, it will activate the water pumps and get it going. Fire lines, their pressure can be so intense that it knocks a person off their feet. So imagine trying to climb up a ship vertically on a swelling sea. It becomes very difficult. Boiling hot steam lines are less used, but when placed correctly on deck, it makes it almost impossible to access the bridge or key areas of the ship. Number 4 is physical barriers, such as razor wires and mooring line. Some ships have found a creative way to use mooring lines set up in a way that protects the aft deck, so that when speedboats are trying to approach the aft, they can't get across the line without hitting their engine onto the lines. This is especially effective for low freeboard ships such as bulk carriers and tankers. Physical barriers are intended to make it as difficult as possible for attackers to gain access to the ship. One thing to note is that pirates, they often don't come with protective clothing. Most of the time, they just come in t-shirts and without shoes, so climbing over these physical barriers can be quite a challenge. Number 5, armed guards. One source says that over 35% of the ships employ armed guards when they transit through high-risk area, particularly off the Gulf of Aden and South Africa. I've had personal experience working with armed guards back in the days. Sounds like I'm old, but yes, back in the days. And it's reassuring to know that you have professionals on board ready to fight for the safety of your life. Interestingly, it seems that there is mutual understanding between the armed guards and pirates. And what I mean that is, when we go through the Gulf of Aden, the pirate boats will disguise as fishermen, and they'll approach the ship to see if any armed guards will pop out from the bridge wing. And if there is, they will move on to test the next ship behind us. It's kind of like bouncer to a club or bar, checking for ID. In a way, it became like a checkpoint. There are some speculations that the financial backers of the armed guards and the pirates are the same group of people. It's supply and demand. You increase the supply of pirates and in turn increase the demand for a security guard. It's a win-win scenario conspiracy theory. Nothing confirmed, it's just interesting gossip that I overheard. Vessels transiting a high-risk area will often send armed guard on board as destination in their AIS. This deterrent measure might prevent pirates from knowing their real destination. The pirates might just re-evaluate their plans to attack the vessel upon seeing armed guard on board as a AIS. Number 6 is Convoy. This one is the most effective, but time consuming because you need to wait for the full convoy before you're ready to go. And with shipping, time is of the essence. A convoy usually consists of 10 to 15 commercial ships. Deploying 2 or more Navy vessels with each convoy, equipped with unmanned aerial vehicles and also fast patrol boats. They will provide the ability to quickly respond within minutes by air or half an hour by sea to any commercial ships within the convoy. Essentially, you have a personal army bodyguard. Number 7 is stealth. I've done this myself during my time when I sail out to sea. It's only doable at night. It's not doable in congested waters or heavy traffic waters such as the Malacca or Singapore Straits, because you definitely need to show navigation lights in that area. So it's more for Gulf of Aden or South Africa waters out in the open ocean. We would turn off all exterior lights and cover windows that have essential lights that cannot be turned off. So you essentially black out the whole ship. A pirate mothership can spot you by radar, but it's not fast enough to catch up to a big ship. And small speedboats aren't equipped with a radar, so at night, if your ship is completely dark, small boats will have a really tough time spotting you. Turning on or off AIS is debatable, and it's not recommended in busy traffic areas.
All stations. This is Coalition Warship Foxtrot 23. We are conducting maritime security operations within the Gulf of Aden. Anyone witnessing any suspicious or criminal activities are to contact Coalition Warship on Channel 16. Out.
Number 8, participating in reporting schemes. This one might surprise you, but just by participating in reporting schemes for that region's contact, you increase the safety for all ships in that area. So just by sighting alone, like if you see suspicious activity but there's no hijacking that takes place, you see a suspicious fisherman that comes too close to your ship, you report that and nearby ships will avoid that area. Every region has a point of contact to coordinate all anti-piracy efforts. For example, the UK MTO, United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations, act as a primary point of contact for vessels and liaison with military in the Somalia region. These voluntary reporting schemes are established to increase security and anti-piracy support to maintain the freedom of that region. Number 9, improvisation. Sailors over the years have developed creative ways to deter piracy and armed robbery. Sometimes you just gotta think outside the box to deter them. Take for example Captain Phillips. Flares aren't accurate at all and is not used for that purpose. He was just hoping for a lucky shot to light something on her small boat. But that's what it is, to try and buy time. Buy time so that reinforcement can come. Dummies are placed around the ship to deter armed robbery because Usually, armed robbery aren't looking for a fight, they just want to steal stuff and run away safely. I've heard a few incidents where crew had scattered broken glass shards all over the deck using beer bottles from the night before. What happened was that Somali pirates don't wear shoes on small boats, and so when they boarded, they couldn't reach anywhere because it was just that difficult without hurting their feet, effectively making them climb back down and move on. So creative ways have known to turn the tide. Number 10 is arming yourself. This one is quite controversial and highly debated. The reality is that some ships do in fact arm themselves, but military-grade weapons such as firearms, laser guns, taser guns, LRAD, are expensive and pose additional problems such as misuse. What are LRAD? Long-range acoustic device. It's non-lethal anti-piracy device that use pain-inducing sound beam to drive away the pirates. The sonic weapons produce a high-pitched noise that is higher than the tolerance level of an average human being. It's been used on a few cargo and cruise ships until now, but they cost a lot and they're really expensive. The complication of arming yourself is the obvious cost, legal and documentation when the ship arrives at a port, and also you could be endangering yourself by playing the hero, going toe-to-toe with the armed pirate. And that comes to the most important message of this video, is that don't be a hero. It's just not worth the cost of your life. If there's a safe house on your ship, don't stay behind like Captain Phillips. Join everyone to the safe house. That was actually one of the mistakes that Captain Phillips admit he should not have done. He should not have stayed behind on the bridge. In a scenario where the pirate boarding is unavoidable, the captain should disable the ship along with the engineers and quickly head to the safe house. It's actually a standard across the maritime industry to do that. Don't be a hero. Instead, be a leader, guiding everyone to safety. All commercial ships have a ship safety plan on board which documents what to do in a security scenario. So for sailors, do your drills, follow your department head, and follow your ship's security plan. If you like this kind of video that is introductory to students looking to join the maritime industry or people who is interested in the maritime industry, be sure to like and share. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.